Hey guys, how's it going? Today let's do an unboxing of the Nomos Tetra. So a little bit about this company. Nomos is a company that's founded in Glaschet, Germany, which is the center of the German watchmaking world. And they were founded in 1990, which is not that long ago compared to some of the Swiss watch companies out there. But they built a good reputation for themselves amongst the years. And they're especially well known, I would say fairly well known amongst watch aficionados. They're not so well known amongst the general public, but at least among the watch world, I think they make some pretty good pieces. They're in the entry-level luxury segment, so around 1K to 5K. So generally, you'll find most of their watches around that range. So I wouldn't say it's super affordable or anything. It's not a Seiko, it's not a Casio, it's not an Orient, but it's not as expensive as a Rolex or an Omega. Definitely not like an FP Journe, not like those watches, right? I would say that their closest competitor in the price segment would be Junghans, both in features and in price. So Junghans is another German company that's doing Bauhaus design, and Nomos is also well known for their Bauhaus design as well. So they're kind of targeting the same market. The other German watch companies like Glaschet Original and A. Lange and Sonnet, they're much higher range. So they're not trying to compete with them. All right, now let's go through the unboxing. So this box, if you notice, is very simple. It's just a small rectangular box. There's nothing really fancy about it. Like I've done the Frederic Constant unboxing, the Oris. They've all had much bigger boxes, much fancier looking boxes. For Nomos, it's just a very simple, small rectangular box, and that's it. And I think that just goes with the German ethos of keeping things really functional, really clean, really simple. Right, that goes back to the Bauhaus design, which Nomos is well known for. So there's actually a pin right here. You have to press it in, and it opens up the box. And here it is. Again, very simple box. There's nothing extra in here, nothing really fancy. It is just the bare minimum what you expect. So this is the Nomos kind of catalog here, which is all in German since I bought this watch from Germany. There's no English here, but it does show you a lot of their catalog. And what's unique about Nomos is that they actually make their own movements and even their own escapements, which a lot of watch companies don't do. So most watch companies out there, most Swiss companies even, the higher end Swiss companies even, they use watch parts and movements from ETA, which is a very well-known watch movement supplier, or Sellita. But for Nomos, they make all their movements and parts in-house. So that's what's kind of unique about Nomos compared to other watch companies out there. I mean, I know that Orient and Seiko are very good value brands, and they make all their movements and parts in-house too. But I think as far as Swiss companies and German companies are concerned, not too many make their own movements, and Nomos is one of them. 90% or 95% of their parts are actually made in Glaschet. The official requirements for made in Glaschet is only 50%, just like for the Swiss made. For the Swiss made branding, I think it's like 60% of the parts or manufacturing costs has to come from within Switzerland. And Glaschet means if you want to put Glaschet on your watch, then that means at least 50% has to be made in Glaschet. For Nomos, this number is 90 or 95%, I believe. So almost everything made in Glaschet in Germany by themselves, which is really impressive. They don't use many Swiss parts at all, I believe. Even the escapement is from them. So that's pretty unique. All right, so let's get to the watch. So this watch is very small, and I think that's also reflective of this company and Bauhaus design in general. Is they want things to be very simple, very functional. The Tetra I got because I wanted to have something different, and this watch has a perfectly square design, which is pretty unique, I would say. Even a lot of watchmakers who make square designs or rectangular designs, they don't make them perfectly square or perfectly rectangular, right? They always have like some curve to it. I think the Cartier mostly popularized this kind of design. But for Nomos, they made a perfectly square watch, which is kind of interesting, and it's super small. The case size is 29.5 millimeters, and they actually make a bigger model called the Tetra Neomatic, but that model costs way more. I got this model for about $1,400 online, which is a pretty good price, I would say. They retail new for about $2,200 US. So I got it for $1,400. The Neomatic you can get for $2,200 right now. So you can pay more for the Neomatic, which will be a bigger version. But I kind of wanted to have a small watch in my collection as well, since most of my watches are 42 to 44 millimeters. So having a 29.5 millimeters, yeah, that's quite different. And yeah, just a simple leather strap, right? It says show Cordova handmade Nomos Glaciet. So this is a slightly used watch, which is why I got it for cheaper. But leather strap is still fine, I think. And of course, you can always swap the straps for something else. As for the actual case design, so it's a white dial. The case itself is very, very thin. So it's very modernistic, very Art Deco style, I would say. So this watch would go well with my Duesenberg guitar that I got. It's pretty nice. That's another reason I got it. It's a manual wound watch, so no automatic movement here. You manually wind it. Yeah, so you can see on the dial itself, there's not much going on. It is just a simple hour hand, minute hand, and a second subdial, and that's it. There's nothing else. It is very, very simple, and you can see in small letters Germany at the bottom here. But that's really it. This is Bauhaus design. It is very simple, very functional. There's nothing unnecessary on the dial. It's just meant to be a very simple functional dial you can look at. And that's pretty cool. So manual wind here, and you have, I think you can see this, Nomos on the crown here. Very small lettering. And then in the back here, you have their alpha movement, which is the very first movement that they made and came out with, I believe in 92, and they've stuck with it ever since. In most of their models, I would say. They've made new automatic movements as well. They make newer movements, but this original alpha movement is still in most of their models, I believe. So you can see it has model Tetra, something in German, 3 ATM. I'm guessing this says water resistant, 3 ATM. And then maybe this is a serial number or something, and I don't know what that means. But you can see the back here. This is their own custom movement, Nomos Glaciet. So it's not automatic. There's no rotating thing here. This is my first manual wind watch, actually. So anyways, keeps things very simple. Again, I do like the look of the movement, though. It's pretty nice. It's own custom movement, in-house, everything. And yeah, very, very nice design. Solidly built, I would say. I know it seems very, very small, and there's not much going on here, but that's the point, right? Nomos makes watches that are very pure functional design. Nothing cluttery going on. No tourbillons, nothing fancy like that. Just pure functional design. Yeah, so I was looking at the Seiko Presage Tonneau because that was the other rectangular model I was looking at. I was looking for a non-round watch for my collection, and I thought, well, maybe for $300 more, I can go for the Nomos, because Nomos are usually worth more. So, yeah, I'm glad I did that. This is a really nice watch. Not to say anything against the Seiko. That's obviously a nice watch too, with the enamel and their own movement as well. But yeah, I'm just going for the Nomos because this was the better deal at the time. So that's it. That's Nomos Tetra. Very, very small, simple watch. Again, if you put on my wrist here, this is a unisex watch. So, a woman can wear this too because it is small enough to be a lady's watch. But this is the original size that they came out with. They came out with the Tetra Neomatic later. But this is the original model that they came out with for both men and women. So this 29.5. They also make a 27.5. The 27.5 is for women with smaller wrists. But even the 29.5 is pretty small. So I would say on a woman it would look fine. And then on my wrist it actually looks a little bit too small almost, but it's still fine. Like if you have a really, really large wrist or arm, then it might look out of place. Alright guys, so now I'm trying on the watch with a shirt and a blazer because I think that this watch makes a very good dress watch. Now some of you may be put off by the size because 29.5 is a pretty small size, but it actually wears a lot bigger than it looks. So the diagonal of this watch is actually 36 millimeters, which is the size of most vintage watches actually. Because these days we wear larger and larger watches, at least 41 millimeters or more. But I think this is the right size for a vintage style watch, and I think it looks really nice. The size and the shape and the design makes it really nice to wear as a vintage style dress watch equivalent, right? And also back then, a lot of people wore more square watches and rectangular watches as well. So this kind of fits in with that aesthetic. You can tell the leather band and the Nomos lettering on the buckle right here. And yeah, I'm really beginning to grow to like this watch so far. Initially, I thought it was going to be too small, but now it does look a lot better when you pair it with a shirt and a blazer and then just use it as a dress watch. I think it does look a lot better. All right, so I'm going to show you some functions of the crown. It's very simple. You just turn it like this to manually wind it, right? Very easy. And then you just pull out the crown if you want to set the time, as you do with any other watch. So yep, again, very, very simple, easy to use. And that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. There is no other complications, so it's a very simple watch to use and very simple watch to look at as well. So yeah, I think this is a very good dress watch for people who want to have something a little bit different, but also look very vintage. Let's compare to the other popular German Bauhaus watch brand, which is Junghans. So both of these watch brands compete in the same price range, the entry-level luxury, 1K, 2K, 3K, around that price point. And I got this one for about 1,500, this one for about 1,400, so around the same price. This one is the Meister calendar model, so it does have more complications, but they do make a Max Bill line as well, which is designed by the Bauhaus designer Max Bill, and that's very comparable to the Nomos lineup. So they're both really nice, very simple, functional design, German made. Although Junghans is not in glassjet, they're not made in glassjet, Nomos is. So that's why they can brand themselves glassjet. So if that matters, then yeah, Nomos would be the one to go. But I don't think there's a really big difference in quality between the two. I think they're both very, very nice watches, very good quality for the price. If you're looking for entry-level luxury German brands, I think either one would be fine. So you don't hear many people outside of the watch world talking about these two brands. I would say German brands overall are not as well known as Swiss brands anyway. So I think either of these will get you probably a lot of respect among watch enthusiasts only. For the general public, I don't think they would even care all that much. But hey, they are very good value, I think, for the price. But yeah, I think either way, if you're looking for an entry-level German watch, then either the Junghans Max Bill or any of the Nomos models would be good to add to your collection. I just wanted to look for a non-round watch, and I found the Nomos to be the best deal for me. And yeah, that's it, guys. I like this design, very modern and Art Deco-ish. So simple and functional design. I do think the movement of the Nomos is a little bit more fancy than the Junghans, though. The Junghans, I'm not sure if they make their movements in-house. I do know that Nomos makes their movements in-house, but I'm not sure about Junghans. But, I mean, either way, both very good watch brands. Anyways, that's it, guys. Let me know any comments, feedback in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.